The lesson of true wisdom lies within you, dear heroes.
Welcome, friends of the Gremmels. Thank you for tuning in to Shinies and Luckydos. My name is Shirviu, and I'm here with Lhok, and today we'll be talking about a statue of a lesser-known lore figure which was added to the grounds of the Undercity in patch 8.0.
This statue has actually been in the game since Classic, but it appears to only have been used in Scarlet Monastery. In fact, the statue even stayed the same following the revamp of Scarlet Monastery back in Mists of Pandaria.
The fact that the statue has been pretty much unchanged for 14 years meant that players had mostly forgotten about it. Personally, I think the fact that it's been updated and reused in Battle for Azeroth could be a massive lore hint.
So let's start by explaining where this statue can be found for anyone interested in having a look for themselves, and then we'll finish off with our thoughts on who it is and why it's important.
Players were introduced to the new Battle for Azeroth expansion through the Battle for Lordaeron scenario. In this scenario, we have the Alliance aggressively pushing through Lordaeron and the Undercity in an attempt to claim it from Sylvanas and the Horde. It's during this push through the grounds that I noticed the statue hidden in plain sight. If you're playing on the Alliance side, you'll be able to find the statue by hanging a sharp left after defeating Windseeker Durja during the Abomination Wonderland part of the scenario. You should see a fenced-off area containing a large stone lion and a large golden lion. You may want to bring a hunter, a shaman, or any character with a farwater conch so that you can zoom in and get a good look at the statue.
For Horde characters, you'll find the same fenced-off area to your right upon completing the Like Wildfire scenario, and you should have plenty of time to take a look at it while you fight Illyria and Mechatol.
If you've already completed the scenario and all your tunes, you can still see the statue in the ruins of Lordaeron in the surface world. The problem is, the green gas slightly obscures your vision, and the blight will do damage over time to your character if you get too close to the ground. This can make it difficult to see the statue up close without getting yourself killed, so I'd recommend landing on a nearby pillar and using your far sight, eagle eye, or farwater conch to zoom in.
Now that that's out of the way, if you've seen our 5 Keys, 5 Torches Paladin video, you might know who this character is. So let's have a look at the statue. The first thing you notice is that it's a small fountain. It depicts a lady holding a goblet aloft, and in front of her is a kite shield bearing the symbol of the Order of the Holy Light. The whole thing appears to be made of stone, with a few gold touches on her shield, necklace, and on the goblet. In fact, it appears to be done in the same style as the statue of Uther the Lightbringer, found in the updated version of Uther's tomb, as well as the statues found in the Valley of Heroes in Stormwind.
From looks alone, we immediately thought this had to be the statue of Lordaeron's sister, Mereldar. We've often thought that Mereldar is like the legendary Arthurian Lady of the Lake, as we find Lake Mereldar in Eastern Plaguelands. The goblet in her hand and the kite shield really solidifies this idea.
For those of you who aren't familiar with Mereldar, I'll do a quick recap. Mereldar was a renowned human warrior of Tirisfal way back during the Troll Wars, 2,800 years before the Dark Portal. She was the sister of Lordaeron, from whom Lordaeron got its name. Lordaeron was a very strong worshipper of Tyr and the Silver Hand, and was the leader of the Tirisfal tribe of humans. While the other human tribes upheld their druidic, barbarian ways, Lordaeron's people had abandoned those practices and venerated only Tyr. Lordaeron perished during the Troll Wars when he led 500 men to their deaths as a military maneuver to split up the Troll forces. Their sacrifice won the war and was venerated for millennia to come.
Lordaeron's sister, Mereldar, was so affected by his death that she decided to stop being a soldier and devoted the rest of her life to caring for veterans of the war. Truly, the story of Mereldar is our earliest indication of the first human battle priest, paving the way for the human monks of Norshire Abbey and eventually modern priests and paladins. But Mereldar's story doesn't stop there. She began having visions of Naru, who were trying to communicate with her from the great dark beyond. In her dreams, she saw 5 angelic, inhuman, geometric forms thrumming with holy power. They filled her mind with the wisdom of holiness, protection, justice, retribution, and compassion, and she went on to write these scriptures in teachings known as the first human librams of the Holy Light.
These librams were later used by Alonsus Fowl as the foundations for the establishment of the Church of the Holy Light, and were then given to the original 5 paladins of the Silver Hand, alongside a verbal contract that they would uphold those virtues. We've made a video on that theory if you're interested in checking that out as well. Needless to say, it's no coincidence that Alonsus Fowl and Kalia Menethil have recently been reintroduced to the story, alongside the update to Uther's tomb.
As indicated on page 142 of Chronicle Volume 1, the entire basis for the humans' worship of the Holy Light is their communion with these Naru, and the city of Lordaeron was founded based on these principles. Similar to Camelot from King Arthur, Lordaeron is to the light as Dalaran is to the arcane. It's therefore no surprise that we see large statues of Lordaeron all throughout Lordaeron. The statues of Lordaeron found in the surrounding cities are actually fountains as well, and depict him in his original barbarian harness. The statues in Lordaeron, however, depict him in the Greek style known as heroic nudity. The 2 versions of this statue are huge foils for each other. One represents barbarism, while the other represents noble, civilized culture.
The fact that we found our hidden statue in a tiny enclosure alongside multiple statues of Lordaeron, as well as statues of lions, tells me without a doubt that this must be indeed Mereldar. By this point, we'd pretty much made up our minds about it when we discovered the final piece of evidence a few days ago, with Wowhead recently data mining a new questline involving Dark Range of Velenora, which seems to take place in the Scarlet Halls dungeon, and the 8.1.5 PTR that also includes some Scarlet Brotherhood broadcast text, indicating that they'll be trying to reform, and that we will be heading back into the Scarlet Monastery at some point. And that's where it all clicks. You see, this Mereldar statue has been hidden in plain sight within the Scarlet Monastery all along.
Back in Vanilla WoW, the Scarlet Monastery dungeon had 4 wings. In Mist of Pandaria, however, the Graveyard and Cathedral wing were combined into one dungeon called the Scarlet Monastery, and the Arbory and Library wings were combined into the Scarlet Halls dungeon. As it turns out, there was originally a low-res version of the Mereldar statue in the old version of the Library wing, which has since been removed. The statue also existed, however, in the Graveyard wing and can be seen to this day in the revamped Scarlet Monastery dungeon. This low-res statue depicts the same shield, necklace, and goblet and has Mereldar standing in the same pose. The only differences really are the length of her hair and the fact that in the old statue her belt was also gold in color.
When you think of the history of the Scarlet Monastery, it becomes even clearer that the statue must be Mereldar. Before the monastery fell under the control of the Scarlet Crusade zealots, it was actually a seminary for training new paladins and clerics. It makes a lot of sense for Mereldar, of all people, to be venerated here as a patron for all who follow the light. Not to mention, Alonsus Fowl himself was originally buried right outside the Scarlet Monastery, and he did a lot of work to spread Mereldar's teachings. There may even be statues of Alonsus within the Scarlet Monastery dungeon, but the identity of those statues is still unclear. It will be interesting to see if Mereldar's new statue makes an appearance in the future, in a new Scarlet Monastery scenario perhaps? Or maybe we will see even more Bastions of the Holy Light, similar to Light's Hope Chapel and Uther's tomb, which have yet to be discovered.
So what did you think of our speculation? Did any of you guys notice this statue when the expansion came out, or is this your first time hearing of it? We could honestly spend all day talking about King Arthur references in the old human lore, so we hope you've enjoyed a little taste of it here. If you like this type of content and want to hear more about our take on the lore, please drop a like on this video and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate all the people sharing our content around and leaving such enthusiastic and engaging comments.
We also have a Discord server where we speculate with our awesome friends and community members. So if you're interested in discussing some of our theories, please come in and join us. The link can be found in the description. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and thanks so much for watching. May your feet find good trails.